Hi guys, with only 1 in 5 stolen cars recovered these days, it turns out that thousands of motorists are still paying VED, that's previously known as road tax, on cars that they actually no longer own. How is this happening? Well, I'll tell you everything right after this.
A brown car guy. Brown car guy.
Right, so believe it or not, back in 2006, this is just 17 years ago, 80% of stolen vehicles were recovered. Today, recovery rates are actually at an all-time low of around 20% nationally. Far less in some areas. For example, in Kent, it's just 6%. So whereas before, if your car was nicked, your first thought would be, well, I hope the police find it intact. Now, the first thought is, I need to get a crime number because I need to make an insurance claim. So the thing is that whilst you're dealing with all that, you're dealing with the shock of a vehicle being stolen, all the resulting admin that goes with it, the beginning of a search for a new car. That's of course assuming that your insurance claim is successful and you manage to get all your money back and stuff like that, or sufficient money back I should say. So then the last thing on your mind then obviously would be claiming a tax refund or cancelling a direct debit. That's probably far from your top priority at the time, but it should be one of the priorities, because here's the thing. Claims Management Adjusting CMA, which is the UK Specialist Motor Insurance Loss Adjuster, they put in the Freedom of Information Act, an FOI, and to the DVLA, the Driver and Vehicle Licensing Agency, and they found that 17,086 UK motorists are still paying tax on vehicles listed as stolen. 17,086, over 17,000 people. So according to DVLA data for September 2023, so last month, of 54,804 vehicles recorded as stolen, so get that, that's nearly half 100,000, right? 54,804 vehicles recorded as stolen. Almost a third of those, 31.18%, are still taxed. They're still taxed. Now, if you go to the government webpage on the vehicle tax direct debit, or the VED direct debit payments, it warns you that if your car is stolen, you'll have to apply for a refund separately. Did you know this? I didn't know this. So if you think about the fact that most people pay about £180, maybe slightly less, a year on tax, or vehicle excise duty I should say, VED, but for many it can be a lot more, because of course there is, for example, owners of new cars which cost over £40,000, they face an extra charge on top of the regular VED. They face a luxury car tax, which is about £390 for the first 5 years from the second year. You pay the initial amount as a lump sum as part of your purchase price. So Philip Swift, who is a former detective, and he's now the managing director of CMA, the people that came up with this report, he says, how on earth are so many people being allowed to fall into this trap? Victims of crime are incurring additional costs for no good reason. At best, it shows a lack of joined-up thinking. At worst, it is a rather underhand way of boosting government coffers. Presumably, the number of people affected has been creeping up for years, linked directly to the plummeting stolen vehicle recovery rate. And he goes on. In terms of a solution, we're working with our insurance partners to introduce an automatic reminder for stolen car claimants to review their VED situation. In the meantime, the government continues to quietly pocket money from thousands of motorists who've already suffered the trauma and inconvenience of having their car nicked. So this is quite an extraordinary bit of information. It's something that I didn't actually know, but with only 1 in 5 stolen cars recovered these days, you've got to think about the fact that that is thousands of motorists that are still paying road tax, VED, whatever you want to call it, that they no longer, on cars that they no longer own or drive. So I think it's time that, there should be some sort of automatic thing that lets people know that if your car is stolen, it should be part of that procedure. Surely the insurance company should tell you, but something really needs to be done. There are, of course, those people that think, oh, well, there's only a little bit left, I won't bother. But, you're still paying tax, and in some cases, quite a bit of tax on a car that you're not driving, that some buggers got off with. So keep this in mind. If you know anybody that's had their car stolen, or you've heard of anybody that's had their car stolen, remind them, have you cancelled your road tax? I'll see you all in the next video.
Brown car guy.
Hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, please hit the like button and share this video as well if you can. And while you're at it, check out these guys who also sponsor my content. I am deeply grateful to them because it helps me to buy new equipment, put fuel in the cars, and yes, buy a cup of coffee. You can do the same. Just go here or right here on YouTube. Just hit these 3 little dots down here and click on thanks. Make sure you're signed in first. My content is free, but this is how you can help me keep it that way. I may even send you a gift. Oh, by the way, watch this next.